Okay, we're going now to a new topic, constitutional questions. I think Andy will like this one. What is your position on gun control?
Gun control is being able to hit what you shoot at. Hit your target, that's gun control. It pretty much sums up my position. I support the Second Amendment without reservation. My wife and I, she has a pink handle, of course, 38 Special that she totes with her, and she's pretty good with it. I don't carry anything that doesn't start with a 4. 45 in 1911, but the founders were wise and inspired men, and they knew, they had seen what happens when a government disarms its populace. They were wise to include this amendment and freedom to the people, because if we give up this right, all of our other rights are sure to follow. So I completely support the Second Amendment. I think there's a bill being kicked around in Arizona right now that allows people to carry concealed without a permit in certain places. You know, the criminals are already doing it. I think there ought to be reciprocity in every state for concealed carry weapons permits. I think we ought to be able to carry our weapons in national parks. Criminals do this already. And again, I can't go on for 2 minutes about how much I support the Second Amendment. Needless to say, I do. And I will oppose any legislation that will infringe upon the rights of law-abiding citizens to keep and bear arms. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Mr. Kelly, what actions will you take to reduce the size of the federal government and its involvement in our lives?
Awesome.
Well, I am running to be one of 435 members of the House of Representatives. I would love to tell you I'm going to be king for a day and kick in the door and grab everyone by the collar and send Nancy Pelosi back to San Francisco, but it's simply not going to happen that way. I'll tell you, we need to start slashing the bureaucracy now. The left, for years, has insulated their agenda in the bureaucracy and in the courts. The EPA, we talk a lot about cap and trade. The EPA already has the power to regulate your light bulbs and windows. That's thanks to a Supreme Court decision. The Supreme Court decision that says that the very air you're breathing right now is a harmful pollutant and can be regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency. If we don't start getting the bureaucracy in check, start slashing some of these bureaucracies, in fact, the entire Department of Education can go away. The EPA could go away. We could go down a long list, but that's a great way to rein in government. Another way is pork spending and earmarks. It must stop now. This is bribery with taxpayer money, and it's a disgrace. Foreign aid to 600 million taxpayer dollars sent to Hamas in the Middle East. If we don't start reining in these things, we'll never rein in government. But the answer to this question is we win elections. That's how we take our government back. It's February now. We have the biggest election in the history of the United States of America coming in November. You want to stop this radical government? Let's dig in, let's do battle, and let's win elections and send the right people to Congress.
Next question.
Mr. Miller, how would you enforce the 10th Amendment that defines the total scope of federal powers as specifically granted by the U.S. Constitution?
Well, the 10th Amendment clarifies that anything not enumerated in the Constitution to the federal government belongs to the states, respectively, or to the people. Now, of course, the Congress does not enforce laws. The President, the executive branch, enforces laws. But we need constitutional candidates, constitutional congressmen and women who understand that the Constitution is not a suggestion, and that if they just follow what's in there, guess what? A lot of the arguments we have as Americans would simply go away, because all these powers that exist right now that the government takes wouldn't exist. It's a time that we send people who are loyal to the Constitution and not willing to engage in the bribery that's been talked of. I'll buy your vote for $300 million. I'll buy your vote for $400 million. I'll buy your vote for a bridge to nowhere. I'll buy your vote for whatever else the Speaker of the House can come up with. The 10th Amendment was put in there by a group of very committed, what were called at the time anti-federalists. They were very suspicious of the power of government. They insisted that we put these amendments in there to further protect us. And God bless them, they were very wise for doing it. But we need to have candidates and eventually congressmen who believe in the authority of this document and who agree that the 10th Amendment is part of the Constitution, and we need to have it followed to the letter